Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Arun Thukral and today I'm going to talk to you about 11 very important reasons that can lead to an interview rejection. Yes friends, today I'm going to talk to you about interview rejections because a lot of times, a lot of candidates who prepare so well, they appear for the interview, they share their resume, they talk to the recruiter, they go up to the final round, but they don't know why they got rejected. I'm sure you would have seen such challenges, such situations in your lifetime if you are a working professional, that you would have applied for a given role and you have done your best, you have given the right interview, you have given all the right answers, but you never know why you were rejected, because a lot of companies do not give a feedback that on what basis they have rejected you. And that's the topic I'm going to take up today. I'm going to share some very important 11 reasons that why a person get rejected in a given interview. So if you know these reasons well, you will be able to plan your interview better. You can take some corrections at an initial stages so that you can prepare well, you can do well, and you do not do those mistakes that can really lead to a rejection in the interview. So don't go anywhere, and also don't forget to like and subscribe this channel so that it reaches to more people, as well as more content can come to your way whenever I'm loading a video. Stay tuned. Well, the number one reason that comes to my mind when it comes to rejection, it is, do you customize your CV when you are sending it to your potential employer? I've seen that a lot of people try to send one standard resume for all jobs, but one standard resume will never fit all job types. You would appreciate and you would understand that every job, every company has got a role in mind which has got certain competencies, and basis those competencies, skill sets, experience, expertise which the company is looking for in that role, you need to first learn that out. And once you know what exactly they are looking at, you need to customize your CV accordingly, because basis that you would be able to give that message to the person who is reading your CV that you are the most closest fit. When you don't look into these factors, you will find that your CV gets rejected, because there are hundreds of CV that are going towards the recruitment team, and they evaluate all of them. And if you do not fit into those keywords that are relevant to the job or the experience or expertise, your resume can get rejected even at this very stage. The number two reason of rejection could be that you are under or overqualified. So never exaggerate your experience if you are not fitting into the requirement. Now, what I simply mean is that whenever you are applying for a job, look into the job description, find out what kind of skill sets that they are looking at. Some people, they try to over project their experience, they try to exaggerate that they meet those expectations. But in today's world, everybody is smart on the other side as well. So they can easily find out either during the interview, or even if you are selected, they will be able to know in the post ref check. So don't try to over exaggerate your experience. And if you are not meeting the criteria, don't even apply for it. Number three reason that comes to my mind is social media presence. I'm sure you will agree that today, if you are on social media, that means that you are visible. As I said, your visibility is very important for recruiters, for hiring managers, for various companies to search you out. But the same social media will also play a very important role in your selection or rejection. So let's say that you have given a fantastic interview, you have fulfilled all the requirement of the job, and you have been able to impress upon all the people in different rounds. Now, the company will definitely would like to do a ref check. So apart from the standard ref checks that are done by calling your known people, the second important thing that happen is they look at your social media profile. They would definitely go into all the posts that you share on social media, which completely reflects you as a personality. So it can be Facebook, it can be LinkedIn, or it can be Instagram. In any of these posts that you make in any of these social media platforms, your visibility, your kind of content that you share is going to reflect your profile. If it is not in the good taste, there is a very high chance that you might be rejected. I know someone who tried to do that. During the interview, the person posted that he or she was excellent in the job, and he was looking forward for that job, and how that person was really qualifying to meet all the criteria. But when we looked into the social media profile, we saw that that person was absolutely highly political in the views and the kind of posts that they have shared. And we found that this has been a consistent habit in all the platforms that the person was doing, and we finally dropped the candidate. So your social media profile can also be useful to you if you are putting a content which is of great value, where you are talking about your skills, your achievements, and different kind of areas which are including positive thoughts, motivational quotes, and some articles. Now this can play an important role of your selection as well if you use it properly. Reason number 4 could be untidy or casual appearance. Let me give you an example. I knew of a guy who was working in a startup company where the culture was that you can always wear casual clothes, jeans, t-shirt, or even half t-shirts wherever is applicable in their culture. And even chappals were allowed in their office whenever you go. That's how a lot of startup works. And this gentleman got an opportunity with a very big company and he wanted to apply. And without realizing, he went almost in a similar attire, jeans, t-shirt, and definitely he was wearing shoes. And that first impression killed his interview, because that company was looking for people who are dressed up properly. Any interview that you are going, if you are not dressed up properly to the occasion, you will see that people will not give you that attention. And in this particular case which I am mentioning, in fact his interview did not complete more than 5 minutes. So you can understand that your appearance can make a lot of difference. So sometimes you need to pay attention to your bad breath. Have you polished your shoes? Are your clothes ironed? Because a lot of time I've seen, one more example let me add, that we were taking an interview during the summer time and one guy came up with a blazer which normally people don't wear in North India, and we saw that the entire blazer was crumpled. Now you can imagine that in spite of his good efforts, good intentions, we found that this is not appealing to us, this is not giving us a good appearance. And sometimes these areas can clearly put down your candidature because you are not sure that how you are going to look like. Your casual appearance can just kill it. The number 5 factor of rejection could be your poor body language. So from the time that you enter into the office, from the time you open the door, you do a handshake, you look into the eye, everything speaks about you as a candidate. Your confidence is reflected on the basis of your body language that you show to the organization. We have seen that in studies also, that 50% of the time people have to make a good eye contact, and more than 70% of the time when they are listening to when somebody is speaking on the other side. That's where your body language can reflect whether you are really interested in the job, or you are just casual, or you have just come for the interview. Anything, your hand movement, your smile, your different gestures that you, while you sit, whether you keep your hands on the table or whether you keep your hands like this, everything is speaking about your interest in the role that you are applying for. And that's what I'm saying, that your body language plays a very important role. Now we come to reason number 6 of interview rejection, that is poor communication skills. I'm sure you will agree that there are some candidates who are so excited that they talk too much the moment the interview begins, and there are some candidates who speak too little. I think both these situations are extreme. So what you need to do is you need to really pay attention to the questions that are being asked, and you need to answer it properly and to the point what has been asked, because I understand that every interviewer wants to build a good rapport with the interviewer, and in doing so sometimes they speak too much and too fast and it doesn't help. Another important point when it comes to communication skills is pay attention to grammatical mistakes. A lot of people, when they are not fluent with the language, particularly English, during the interview, they tend to make a lot of mistakes in their grammar, and that clearly reflects that how much fit you are for the desired role the company is looking at. Next reason is that a lot of people give vague answers or they avoid certain questions. Always remember that there are certain questions that are being meant in the interview where they want to understand your knowledge, your skills, and your abilities. But if you give vague answers to those questions, it will not reflect good on your part. Secondly, it also reflects on your abilities to find out the answers of those tricky questions, because there are a lot of things which are hidden and in the questions, and they expect you to find that out and answer that. If you are not able to answer those questions, and if you avoid that, that will reflect poor on your candidature as a suitable candidate. Therefore, whenever you have to answer those questions, prepare well and answer with a lot of enthusiasm and to the point, so that you can identify yourself as the right fit for the job. Reason number 8, unrealistic career goals. I'm sure during your interview you are definitely going to be asked about one question, that what are your career goals? And at that point of time, if you are not appropriate with respect to your current age, experience, and you do not answer appropriately, it may reflect bad on your part, that you are not too sure what are you talking. For example, if you are a marketer, you are at a product executive level, and you are giving an interview and somebody asks you what are your career goals in the next 5 years, and you say that I want to be the marketing head. Now you need to look at it, that how realistic this goal is. You may become a group product manager or an assistant marketing manager, but you cannot be like a marketing head. For that, you really need to understand the trends in the industry and see to it that where do you see how many years ahead of, let's say 5 years ahead, where you would be. Now, basis that, you should be putting up your expectation as your career goal, because the person who is sitting on the other side, he's well experienced, well knowledgeable, and he knows what is the meaning of his question, and your answers can sometimes set a tone that whether you are really fit for the whether you have answered the question correctly or not. The next part of your interview rejection could be salary discussions at an inappropriate time. A lot of people do not know when to start talking about salary and their salary expectation during the interview. I've seen that a lot of people in the beginning stages, they start talking about what kind of salaries that they are going to get, what is the percentage rise that they are going to get. A lot of times people do not know when to answer that, and the moment they start jumping on this point, it reflects that you are highly greedy and you are looking at money as a factor. So let me explain you again. During your initial rounds of interview, the people who are interviewing you are evaluating you on your skills, on your abilities and your experience and expertise, that are you really fit for that role or not. Even when they ask you that what is your salary expectation, you need to definitely put it very simply that the way the company is looking forward for a good candidate, they can pay a decent salary or as per company expectation. You don't get into the numbers, because at that stage, if you get into the number game, there are high chances that you will miss the bus, because this is a tricky question at the beginning interview, because any salary discussion will eventually happen by the HR of the company. That's that department that decides. The initial people who are interviewing you for a role specific or a function specific people, they want to see that whether you are the right fit for the job or not. Until they press you very hard that you have to tell about what is your salary expectation, only then you reveal that this is what you are looking at the growth. But initial discussions, in the initial interviews will not reflect good. And sometimes when people are becoming stubborn that this is what they are looking at as a salary rise, if they don't get it, they will not join. Definitely this interview will never take it forward. The 10th reason for a candidature rejection could be too much follow-ups after the interview. I've seen a lot of candidates who are highly excited once they have given all the rounds of interview. They will either call the recruiter or the hiring manager that what is the outcome. I can very well understand that the excitement is always very high, because you have done your best, you have given several rounds of interview and you are expecting some results to come. But do you know there is a difference between following up and too much follow-up? If you start trying to reach out to a lot of people, different people in the company or to the recruitment team, that what is the outcome of your interview, there are high chances that they will perceive that you are highly desperate and you are really looking forward for a job. Either you are out of job or you have too many job offers in your hand and you want to grab this, and that's why you are trying to follow up. And that sometimes jeopardizes your chances of getting selected in the organization. So you need to be very patient. You need to send a thank you mail after your interview to the recruiter or the organization, because the person who would have interviewed you would have given a visiting card. You would have his email ID. Say thank you to him. you are likely to also get an acknowledgement from them. If they're really interested, they will reach you out. Sometimes it may take even 2 months or 3 months, but if your candidature is good, they will come back to you. But if you jump the gun by following up excessively, there are chances that you may miss out in spite of you being a good candidate into the system. And finally, the last one, that is 11th reason for your rejection, could be poor attitude. Now, when you are going for an interview, if sometimes you are seen as more arrogant upfront in giving responses and you are looking very arrogant on your face, you're not having a smile, can put a reflection that you are a very arrogant guy and you are really not serious about this job. So when you are going for an interview, you need to definitely pay a lot of attention that how your body language looks. In terms of, do you have a smile on your face? Are you really looking forward to the job, and you are looking forward in creating a good body language by listening and understanding what the interviewer is asking, and basis which how you are responding back. So if your attitude is not reflecting good, there are very high chances. Sometimes your body language looks too stubborn, too tight. So sit, relax, have a very good smile. The best advice that I always tell people, when you are going for the interview, take a glass of water. It relaxes you a lot, and basis that you get some time to breathe in, and basis that you are more focused in your answers, and when you look into the eyes of the interviewer, it creates more confidence in you and in them that you are approaching the interview in the right fashion. Well, these are some of the reasons that I have identified. If you have really found them interesting, find out in your previous interviews what it was that you got rejected. And if you have learned certain points out of this, try and see how you can avoid them and practice in the right manner so that your rejection can be avoided. And also, if you really like the content that I have shared in this video, do mention feedback in the comment section below, and also share some of the thoughts that what kind of content that can be of some interest to you so that I can prepare well. Thanks a lot for watching me. Signing off from here, Arun Thukral.